ever since that she was old.
Yeah. How long was she gone, Jimmy?
14 days.
Yeah, the keys in here.
She said,
Feels like water's running somewhere.
amazing experience.
All right, do I hear a motion that we return and certify our closed session? Not everybody at one time, please.
I'd like to make a motion, whereas the town council has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas section 2.23712 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the town council that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now therefore, be it resolved that the town council hereby certifies that, to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed in the closed meeting to which this certification resolution applies. And only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered by the town council.
Wait a second.
Second.
Paul,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Jimmy,
Yes.
Alice,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Gary.
Yes.
All right, we're officially back in open at 7:08. All right, this, I don't think anybody needs a recess, do you? No, let's go ahead and have an invitation. Steve, if you would.
Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your watch care over us. As we come to this time, Lord, we pray especially for our nation, our nation's leaders, and our service people. We ask that you be with them, bring them home safely. We also pray for our town business tonight, that you be with us, guide us, give us wisdom, to take care of the business of our town. And we ask these things in your name. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, we got a big crowd tonight. Thank you ladies for coming. The consent agenda, the March expenditures, did everybody get a chance to go through? And if you have any comments, let's go around the table. Steve,
I'm good.
Paul,
Good.
Jimmy,
I'm good.
Alice, Bob.
I'm okay with them. I will just make a request. It would be really nice to have a list of what each account balance is currently at as well, if that's possible. So
Is that should be on your budget?
the
Budget versus actual.
but I'm talking about specifically like our LGIP account. What is the current balance of that account?
He's talking about the bank accounts and.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's.
Yeah, FNB and all the LGIPs, not the accounts on the budget.
Okay,
Thank you.
That's all I had.
Well, I have a few I just want to ask about, nothing, no complaint about anything, but a few things you just need to understand. Page 1, personal property there, we're at 134%. Is that where we've taken in a lot of overdue taxes, or does that have something to do with how it balances against TRA?
I've been collecting a lot of overdue, so I wouldn't expect it to be as high with the next budget.
Okay. But that's a really good, we budgeted 59,000 there, and we've taken in almost 79.
People have
That's
been
some-
paying taxes all the way from 2020 to current.
Well, that's some mighty good work on the part of our staff for collecting that, so thank you. Communication taxes, 224%, is that just our allocation simply going up from that, from the state, or what, how is that going up that much?
yeah, so that is, we get that from, the Commonwealth of Virginia, and I actually have been on the hunt. It's really hard to get these answers. This it's just easier to show y'all. This is a from July to current. All of the descriptions and such. It's more of these little just random numbers that I'm still trying to figure out, and they are just all going to that communication tax except Heat Financial,
Okay.
that's PD, and then further discussion about like car rental, and then this big Petra one we allocated for that.
That right there is something that, you know, that naturally is gonna raise a question going into developing the budget. If we can count on several thousand extra with that next year, then that is a good thing. If not,
Yes,
then
yes. I'm still definitely trying to figure out
alright.
all of those little,
And-
and I can give you all a copy of this too.
Cigarette taxes, it looks like they finally caught up. They're 92% of projection, and we were worried about that one. On page 2, the cell phone tower lease, we're at 99% on that, and we still have a couple more, almost a quarter to go in the FY. So I'll need to get with someone about the escalator in that for the budget. The little control recycling grant looks like that has gone up.
Yes, so they were incorrectly invoicing us. I think the invoice was about $1,000 a month, but someone on their part noticed that we were getting the incorrect invoice, and we have made up to date. We're all good now, but it was a lot, so that's really something to relook at if you guys are looking for a good budget number.
Okay, well, I can get with you, or any of us can, individually working on the budget with that. I just wanted to know. Civil penalties are 350%, that's good. Let's see. Unicode will need to know how much to budget for that on both sides, but we can't really do that right now. Page 7, refuse collection contract. Now, of course, we went into a new contract with a new contractor, commencing with the new FY this past summer. And I'm having a hard time figuring out how that we're at 172% on that, and we're 3/4 of the way through the FY.
What was that other account you were just talking about? Because that one is the first Piedmont.
Yeah, that's
Where,
what, I'm near the bottom of page 7.
yeah, that one is the where they had messed up, and we had to do a really big catch up.
Okay,
They underbilled us.
they
Yes.
underbilled, so it was just catch up. It's not a change in,
No.
in anything else.
No, and we will be getting a price increase.
Okay. All right, and then at the bottom of that page, technical services and support is at near 300%. I mean, is that just cause we've had to use them more?
That was from them also
What page are
doing,
you
setting
on?
up the
Some,
the Dell computers, because we had a
where we
that was
replaced them and
labor.
then had to do all that extra work. Makes sense. Just wanted to know. All right, so top of page 9 looks like we're at 82% of budget at 3/4 of the way through the year. So all in all, not bad. Considering everything we've had to do and have been through. I don't really, let me see one more page. And then on the last page, the enterprise fund, we're at 91% on that with 2.5 months left to go. So again, as much as we're having to do for the water, I don't really see, there's nothing else jumping off the page biting me. So I'm fine. I don't have any further questions or comments on the expenditures. I'll have a couple of small things on the minutes when we get to that.
Anybody else have anything?
Only thing I was just gonna add on refuse, that we gotta remember, the quicker the fuel prices can come down, because they have the ability to,
They've got escalated.
they got an escalator for the fuel going up. So
It's gonna be
diesel
very
right now
low.
is almost $6 a gallon.
Well, I fear that's going to get worse before it gets better, so
Yeah.
that's going to come
So
into
just
play.
everybody
Well,
Brace
it's
for that.
about 8 o'clock tonight, I suppose.
That's all I have on the,
That's it.
the finance report. I'll have a couple things in a minute.
All right, moving on to the minutes. Any questions, concerns, corrections
Nothing major, just little things for cleanliness. The North Star looks good. On the 17th, I would like to suggest that anytime, going forward, anytime that we have a work session, just for the sake of consistency with the naming convention, that we kind of follow the county's model, and we have a business meeting and we have a work session. That seems to sound better than workshop meeting. I think that would be good. And on the back there at the top, near the end, it says council voted in favor 6-0 of convening until March 18th. The word there needs to be continuing to March 18th, because I don't think we convened overnight and all day the next day. I'm sure it's just an honest typo that anybody could do that late. And of course, we didn't specify the time that it was continued to also.
5 to none, because I had to leave in the middle of that one.
I forgot that. Other than that, the 17th looks good also. And let's see, on the continued work session on the 18th, on page 2, where it's in the middle, where it says that digging was taking place all over when it first became popular. We need to get the spelling right there. Popular with a U means well-known and interested in by a lot of people. Without the U, it refers to a tulip tree. So, it's just a matter of difference.
But where do you want to use?
Popular.
Okay.
It needs to be popular if
Okay.
you're talking about the popularity of something.
Yeah. I used to live on Poplar Street, it was
Yeah,
always
in that
pronounced
case,
Popular Street, yeah.
Yeah, in that case, it's talking about tree and it doesn't have the U. Other than that, it looks good.
on?
I've got it printed on both sides. I know where he's talking about that.
Any other? All right, we can go ahead and open our public hearing. Wait a minute,
We need to vote to approve it.
do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented
Second.
with the changes
With the
that were
changes.
referenced.
Paul,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Jimmy,
Yeah.
Alice,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Gary.
Yes.
All right, moving on to the town of Hurt conveyance of approximately 106.204 acres to Avio. We're opening the public hearing. So if anybody have visitors. Really?
Well, why don't you describe what the terms of the arrangement are? We're going to sell basically what was the Key Industrial Park, which has been surveyed to contain 106.204 acres by a survey that was just completed March 23rd. And it's going to be at the rate of $15,000 per acre, which will close tomorrow and result in the town receiving $1,593,010. And the property will be deeded to Avio USA Inc. For them to create an industrial plant, which we understand is going to make rockets, motors, and other defense equipment. So that's what is proposed, and the town has entered into a sale contract for that, with beginning with the Staten River Regional Industrial Facilities Authority, but then they assigned the contract to Avio USA, and they're going to be the party that gets the property deeded directly to them. So that's the deal that we're talking about. We're gonna sell the key industrial park to the rocket plant for $1,593,000.
And it'll be wired, not checked.
And I guess some more information on that, and this is all public, but I guess it's good for us to say is it's required that they produce 1,000 jobs. They are saying they're gonna do around 1,500, so that's more than what they're required for. And then they're supposed to invest $536 million, I believe. It's very close if it's not right.
Down a little more.
Yeah, and they're saying they're gonna invest more than that, so these are gonna be really good neighbors. We're really hoping there's gonna be a lot of employment from just the construction that we'll be seeing. We're hoping to capture some meals tax money with this project. Hoping to get, a lot of future revenue through jobs being created in our town. Obviously Alta Vista is gonna get a lot of benefit from this as well, which is a good thing. And the rest of the county too, but, for us to really benefit the most from this project, we need to invest in the plaza so that these new employees and hopefully residents will have places to spend money in town, especially meals tax money, because that's where we get our biggest bang for buck right now. Not from citizens directly, so.
Just remember, when we get the plaza fixed up, every penny that we make over that is a penny you don't have to pay in taxes.
Yep.
And to expound on what Bob is saying, it's important to keep in mind that when you have a high quality and sizable industry like that in town or on the way, it suddenly becomes much easier to attract other businesses to places like the plaza.
Yep.
We've had a lot of talk about business and development and things like that over the years. But in recent months, reflecting on this, and many of you know, I lost my brother a couple of months ago, and he was deeply involved in things with the state. And even though, like most brothers, we didn't agree on everything, he had a huge wealth of knowledge about how things like this worked, and he gave me a very good piece of advice one time, saying that, you're not unlike all the other small towns all over Virginia. What you need is to get a good, high-quality industry with good, stable jobs and good benefits, and then all these other things that superfluous things, shops, eateries, various things like that will come. And I honestly believe that he's going to prove to be right about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we've been needing. I mean, this is the biggest win that we have ever seen. I mean, beyond what any of us can imagine. And I would just ask people to take a minute and consider. I don't think most people really realize the enormity of what is about to unfold here over the next few years. And it's not just the proposed industry. When something like that comes, there's going to be all sorts of spin-offs and supporting entities that have to go with that. Think about the logistics and the supply chains and all of that has to go with it. And that hasn't even come up on the radar and on the table yet. So, I mean, the implications for this are huge. I mean, this is a massive mega project that's far beyond what any of us thought that we would ever see come to fruition. And for anyone that's not entirely sure what this footprint is going to be, well, the simple version of it is practically all of the land between Main Street and the 29 bypass that is not already occupied either by Stanton River Plastics or FCA or the water plant. Basically anything south of Pocket Road all the way out to the bypass. So all that logged area that you're seeing out there, practically all of that is gonna be taken in with it as well. They will have a direct access from the 4 lane and 29. They will not have to depend on Main Street. It'll be an absolute game changer. Just thought that should be out there for anyone that might not have been following along for the record.
Yeah.
But it's a public hearing, so,
And then,
citizens.
I'll also add one more thing in regards to water. You know, we purchased the water treatment plant, and we're gonna be selling water to Avia, right? But hopefully what we'll have is more houses built, more people using water, which means hopefully less of a high rate for everybody. And so all of these things are a flywheel in motion, right? We're just starting to see it start moving, and the goal is to have better services for our citizens, but hopefully a lower tax rate as well. And that, I think, is something we can all get on board with.
Kim Johnson signed up to speak.
Okay. Anybody else have any comments, council? Public hearing? No?
I'll speak.
Well, public hearing, Kim, or public comments? Public hearings talking about the land sale. Comments, whatever you wanna talk about.
Comment.
Alright. No other speakers on the public hearing. We'll close that down and we will open the public comments now, and we have
Kim
Johnson.
Kim Johnson,
You mind standing up at the podium?
609 Lynn Street. I just would like for a little bit of clarification. Can you expand a little bit more on the transfer of ownership with Rage or Stanton River Plastics that you spoke of? And how that transfer of ownership may or may not benefit us? And the second question that I have is following up to a meeting that you had last month in which you commented that the water had tested, and I hope I'm describing this correctly, but the water had tested good for the last year, and that may take us out from under the umbrella that we've had with the state because we've had positive results, which may or may not alleviate what we're anticipating in water hikes. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so those are the two things I was wondering if you could expand upon.
Anybody wanna tackle it, or?
So, Stanton River Plastics, we're not selling anything to Stanton River Plastics or Rage.
No, they sold. They
Oh.
got sold.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, I thought it was confusion about who was purchasing the
No,
No,
land.
they got
I knew they were
sold.
sold, but what does that mean?
Technotech
Gotcha.
is basically their competition, okay, on the much larger, more sales, just a bigger company generally. So what they're gonna do is, they bought a smaller company, and the assumption is they'll obviously have more work because of more sales.
Do they absorb the deal that was made with Stanton River Plastics, or is that null and void, full-on taxation, business tax?
That was my next question.
Well,
How is that going to impact us
Well,
in reference to the agreement that we had with the prior owner?
they bought all of the existing Rage Plastic operations, so there's an operation over here that's going in Alta Vista. The assumption is, and I haven't talked to them yet about this, but that they will probably take over the operation here, and they may take over the one in Alta Vista and keep them both going. They may shut one down and have one. They may shut them both down, but that's probably unlikely.
No, I was talking about the deal, the tax deal.
Well, I'm getting
Yeah.
to that. If they come into this plant over here, that tax deal will exist because it's a SRIFA project, and the county owns that building, but from what I understand, they would probably end up buying the building from the county, and they are in the Southern Virginia Multimodal Park, so our deal with SR RIFA would stay the same, It's just they would generate more business and more taxes, so you would think your tax revenue would go up.
Okay.
But they won't get all the breaks that Stanton River Plastics got.
I suspect Stanton, and I don't remember what those breaks were, but I suspect they probably played out by now.
They were good for about 7 to 10 years.
If not, I would think they would just perpetuate through as if there had been no change. And
Yeah.
It probably just passes from
One company to the
one
other.
company to the next,
Yeah.
would be my best guess on
Yeah,
that.
I would think so, yeah.
The company that bought it is Technimark, and they're located in Asheboro, North Carolina. I put a little clip in the newsletter about that, including a link to their website, so when that comes out in a water bill, you should be able to use that and go to that page and find out a little bit more about that. That's in there for everybody. But I don't think you will see a big change in that anytime soon. Well, Reeves was headquartered in Hilliard, Ohio, and the Alta Vista and Hurt locations were subsidiaries of that, but Technimark bought the company in its entirety, is my understanding. So it's yet to be seen everything that they're going to do or not do with it, but I would think being a bigger company, that there would be an opportunity for growth there.
Any other, excuse me,
The water mandate.
oh, we're working on that, so can't nobody decide that but the state, so we're negotiating, talking, seeing where they stand. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Any other comments? No. All right, let's move on to the new business.
How about the resolution
Yes.
arising from the public hearing?
That
How would
was
you like to
next.
do that?
Right now. Anyone like, Gary, you have it?
I have it. Unless somebody really wants to, I'll be happy to read it.
I think we should do it.
Go ahead.
I feel like I've been drafted by the vice mayor. All right. Whereas town council finds that it's in the best interest of the town to further economic development and strengthen the finance of the town, to sell to Avio USA Incorporated that property containing 106.204 acres by survey of March 23rd, 2026, also known as Key Industrial Park. And whereas Avio USA intends to locate on said property and on adjacent properties a business or industry which will entail a very large capital investment, provide numerous jobs, and offer substantial economic benefits to the region. Whereas the town has entered into a real estate purchase agreement with Stanton River Regional Industrial Facility Authority for sale of said Key Industrial Park property for a per acre price as agreed therein, which agreement was subsequently assigned to Avio USA. Whereas a public hearing was held on this day as required by Virginia Code 15.2-1800, and which hearing was duly advertised as required by section 15.2-1427. Therefore, be it resolved that the said real estate purchase agreement is hereby ratified, and that the town shall sell the Key Industrial Park property to Avio USA Incorporated upon the terms set forth in the said agreement. Be it further resolved that the mayor and staff, including the town attorney, are authorized to complete the said sale, and the mayor is authorized and directed to execute a general warranty deed conveying the said property to Avio USA Incorporated, and to execute any and all other documents in furtherance of the sale and conveyance of said property. Be it further resolved that such sums as are necessary to complete the closing, not to exceed $100, are hereby appropriated. So it's my great pleasure to make a motion to approve this resolution as read.
I'll second that.
Shannon?
Steve,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Jimmy,
Yes.
Alice,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Gary.
Yes.
Like I said, I'll be here tomorrow, hopefully.
And our closing costs were $50.
Oh, geez.
So we're in budget on it, all right.
And, the new business, the state mandate on the construction update. We covered that with Kim. We're talking, hopefully over the next few weeks, we'll have a resolution to that. The plaza update, we're getting ready to get started on that. Now that the sale's taking place, it gives us the cash that, we need to start getting some of that work done. So I think council, we've all agreed that we wanna get moving on this just as soon as possible. So you'll probably see some work going on down there just as quickly as Matt can free his people up and get them here. So keep your eye out, be looking for that.
Can I ask one question?
Sure.
Are we including in the newsletter information regarding that project, Mr. Poindexter?
I think there's a brief reference
Okay.
to it, but not details. There was not space for details, and I didn't think that much was available yet.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll have a better version for the next quarter.
Okay, so I'll
Be much further along at that time.
So just to make sure everybody's aware of where we're at, RRMM is an architectural group. They have an office in Roanoke, but they have other ones throughout the state. They're gonna be who we're working with to manage this first phase of the project. They're also going to help us manage the contractor so that we personally, a town employee, does not have to do that day-to-day inspection work or that monthly inspection work. So this RRMM group, they're going to provide architectural drawings that we're going to share with the town when they get those complete. There's going to be a series of them as they get updated, and we'll provide the town updates as those come along. I believe they said a 6-month construction period is expected, but no contractor has been selected yet. Once that contractor is selected, we'll make everybody aware of that as well.
All right, moving right along. IT and cybersecurity policy package. This is basically the DMV stop that the town's been working on for, 6-7 years now.
At least.
And Shannon, since you've talked to these people and worked up with them on it, I'll let you explain that. It's going to be, in a nutshell, when it's turned in, we have to pay, at the end of the process, a fee. So we can bill a person that didn't pay the taxes, we can bill them that fee of $25. So I think that's something that we would want to do, is collect that fee. I don't think the town wants to eat $25 per process on it. That's what the state charges.
Well, I would think it would be responsible of us to do that. If you don't, you're asking the taxpayers to pay another fee that's due to someone else's delinquency, so that's unfair to everyone else that pays theirs on time.
I agree with that sentiment, but how is that related to this IT and security policy?
So we have to meet certain mandates that the state puts out there for the IT and cybersecurity. Currently, the town of Hurt doesn't have anything set up that meets what the state requires. We asked our Travis to draw up a contract for him to do all of the updates and the checks and the reports and stuff that need to be done according to DMV and the state. And this is the package that he proposed. So I gave him what the state mandate was that DMV, I said DOV, it's DMV, what DMV requires you to follow, and then he drew up his proposal from that point. If we enter into a contract with DMV prior to having this set up, then we're in violation of contract. So we can't complete our contract with them until we have this
An
set up.
upgrade to the system.
Okay. For some reason, I thought River Trail Tech already provided us with cybersecurity services.
They do,
Yeah.
but if
This is in
you,
addition to that.
yeah, it's in addition, and it's, like I said, it's a state mandate. It's not something from anything else. It's a mandate from the state
So
that
he's
has to be
essentially,
followed.
They're a
Doing
little
the
more
reporting.
enhanced than what we are.
Yeah,
so we already have cybersecurity policies in place. He is gonna be doing the reporting of those policies.
so we have to have someone checking up to make sure all of the policies are being followed and everything. When we have a turnover in employment, they become responsible to make sure that all of the logins and things like that are terminated. It's stuff like that.
Are they liable if they don't
Is,
That'll
do their due diligence and a vulnerability occurs?
Do
um,
they have a contract
Travis.
besides this?
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know.
What about that? Do they have a contract besides this?
All I have right now is just a proposal. It doesn't say, I think it says what they're going to be doing on the proposal. There isn't a contract yet.
because we have to meet the state guidelines.
This looks to me to be additional cybersecurity over and above our general cybersecurity that we
It
have
is.
for everything else. And it is specifically for this one function, because we have to interact with the DMV database and meet state standards on that.
We have to meet their database standards.
And that's gonna be different to our localities.
Yeah.
So what I'm seeing here is that this 1995 fee for, River Trail Tech, setting up all this and getting it going for us is a one-time fee. And then we would need to budget $395 a year to keep the service going, however many years we're gonna do it.
I haven't talked to Travis on that, on the
I
contract.
can clarify.
But it says it's a one-time fee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm reading.
Okay. I mean, cybersecurity, I agree, is extremely important. I guess I agree with John's sentiment on having the full contract before we, sign anything, but these prices seem reasonable for documentation. $2,000 one time to get us in alignment for this DMV program. I unfortunately have had to do things like this for other entities, and it's a lot of paperwork. So I think that's a fairly reasonable rate for what IT charges generally per hour.
So we'll talk with Travis, maybe get a little better enhanced contract with particulars on it. But I'm hearing that we probably wanna move forward with this.
I would think that we would.
Are we behind? Like, are we being held up from anything at this moment until we
So
approve this?
I cannot process DMV stops until we have this part developed, because we don't wanna risk being in violation of contract with DMV.
Okay.
So we're just stuck right now. I just can't put, for the people that are still, have not gotten their personal property taxes, I can't put stops on it.
Okay.
But it's not something that's extremely critical or gonna cause the town any harm or anything like that.
We just can't
We just can't,
We
right
just
now,
can't-
we can't move forward
with enforcing our
until,
payments.
Right.
correct.
So if we could do the rest of
Okay.
our homework on this and come back and act on it at the next work session, then that would still work smoothly for your office.
Shannon, how many of these stops are being held up because of this?
So I've had a lot of people that have actually come in and started making some payments. I think the last time I looked, I had like 75. That's a guess. I can't give you an exact amount. When I say we've been collecting a lot of taxes, there's been a lot of taxes collected over the last
75.
several months.
No, you have
That-
seven,
Yeah, but that was when I first started learning how to go about being able to do the DMV stops. So there's been a lot of paid. I haven't done a recent check just because we're stalled. Once we move past everything and we can submit the contract to DMV, then I'll run a new report to see how many people are there. I know that we can only do this with personal property on the vehicle, so for the personal property that's like business type items and things like that, I can't put a stop on that. It can only be done for vehicles.
Thank you, Shannon.
Okay,
Thank you.
reports from staff, treasurer, Marissa Padilla. Padilla.
I've been continuing paying invoices like regularly, VRS snapshot contributions, and then submitting timesheets to Evelyn since she is doing our payroll. And I have finally been able to do VOIA deductions for the Public Works and just me and Shannon also. And I was able to make from January 25th to current, the VOIA payments have been paid, but only for the current time, so we are still waiting for them to review our case and get back with us for the interest kind of catch-up payment. That is unknown now, so I'm just kind of waiting for that to move on with that. Evelyn came last Friday and we had a meeting about several different things. One of them was to add a new GL line for the VOIA payments. So that's something we'll have to discuss. And also she suggested some handbook changes. I mean, she briefly sat there and read it and said that it was way too vague and it could be misinterpreted pretty easily, and that we did need to get more specific on a bunch of different things. So I think that is probably third on my list currently. So I'll definitely have suggestions and maybe present it or something, or have someone else help me with it. And also she had said that we should as the town look into bonding myself as the treasurer for insurance liability, but I haven't even looked into that yet. That's probably a little lower on the list, but.
I think the code says it's to be a $25,000 bond.
Do you remember this?
Yeah, we had that discussion a few years ago, but I
We
don't,
raised it up to 25.
yeah, beyond that, I don't remember the details, I just remember it happening.
Yeah.
Just something to look into. Yeah.
Thank you. Public Works, Joe.
We've been in the middle of, doing the billing. We're just now stuffing the envelopes, newsletter and all. We're also completed the CCR report. The address will be on the bills. So you can go to the town website, look up the address, and it'll take you right to the CCR so you can check the reports for the work. Was also been cutting grass. We're a little behind, but we've been hitting it pretty hard Friday and today. We had VDOT come through with their street sweeper 2 times, because they finally got the contract signed, and you'll see a little mud on Prospect for a while until they start the game on. And we've had quite a few zoning meetings, me, John, and the mayor, on the Sugar Hill Estates, where they want to put these 6 houses. And I'm also starting some zoning with another house that's going in on Dana Lane. So that's where we're at right now. I've
Bob.
also had a few issues with the pumping station. Last week the alarms went off like 4 times. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one of the pumps somehow, and I can't put my finger on it, it's either the contacts in the motor itself or the other set of motor controller contacts for that pump are starting to fail. Because when we go down there and you try to start it, you hear that, you let her cool a little bit, and a couple times she'll smooth right out and roll on. Well, we gotta sit down there and manually fill that thing for 3 hours. That's overtime money.
That starter got heaters in it.
Huh?
Is there heaters in the starter?
No.
How far are you on the new pumps?
Right now, from what I've been told, we're stalled.
Yeah, we haven't ordered new pumps.
That,
We gotta get
that
this
whole
stuff
project
straight on
froze to a
what
stop.
we're doing. Yeah,
And, I think that motor controller, I'm trying to make her last as long as I can, like, from last Thursday to actually today. Everything's good, but last week she was acting up hard.
that's why we're trying to push it.
It's electrical.
Yeah, 'cause even once the pumps are released, it's gonna be 6, 8, 10 weeks.
Well, as I explained to the mayor before, because we didn't know if you were moving on the project, he said it's in limbo right now. We didn't know if you're gonna put the line in from out to Vista and go with the direct drive pumps, or where we're going here, cause you gotta consider what's gonna happen. If the water treatment plant goes into operation and we have to feed the town, you need a direct drive pump. But, there's a part you're probably not gonna like. Once that's in motion and we booster it from here, you won't need a booster pump station
Right.
anymore. Unless there's some, happens to the plant, we can get out to Vista's water and boost it back the other way. That's gonna be a sole purpose once that's complete.
And with that said, the state does like redundancy.
Everybody likes redundancy.
Yes.
So, right now, we're at a standstill.
As far as I'm aware, the town council's in general consensus about moving forward with the redundancy approach. So, whatever we can do to get that logjam broken, we should.
Yeah, 'cause even when the pumps are ordered, they're gonna be 6 to 12 weeks
Yep.
before they ever even get here.
So the plan is, Joseph, even with this up and running, we're still gonna keep the line open down to Vista.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we just had that event in Danville,
Yeah.
a month ago, I think, where they had the boil water notice, and if we can do anything to keep our citizens from being in that situation, we should.
Well, just, how are we gonna go, are we still going about the same way? Is it the zone for 75, 25 that way, or how we doing this? At the last I heard, it was going 2 ways.
Yeah. I think we're deciding to do the loan and get the state, forgiveness as part of that, the general agreement that we've been provided.
So we would proceed just as if we're under the state mandate,
Okay.
all the work associated with it.
So back to the original plan. Scott know this? No. Okay.
You'll know tomorrow morning.
Alright, now we'll start again, and see where we're at, cause I don't know where we're at paperwork wise again because of the stall, I don't know. So we're gonna go back with the whole thing? Booster pump, tower, and,
Well, Scott's, he's even got questions about with passing all the tests, whether or not we wanna do the aerators in the tank or not. That's a good question. Do we wanna, because that's a $300,000.
understand.
Yeah,
Part of
'cause I still think you can do it. I still think you can do it through controls with the pumps and speed the pumps up to agitate that water and back them back off and do the same thing as what you would with a.
The problem is when you had, the plaza open and, you know, the business is running, the tank would circulate in a 24-hour period. It's not doing that now. It's only like a whole tank will drop in maybe day and a half, 2-day period. And that's sitting there is what's causing the problem, because it's not stirring. Even when you put the water in, it's only doing the bottom. It doesn't go to the top. You could waffle that thing up, it ain't gonna do. It's only gonna put out what we need there.
Well, hopefully we will have this running at the same time as this. And
But the only problem with that is the testing results. Like Kim was saying, we've actually gone almost 3 years without information. But every September, we're high. every September. We're only allowed 80, we'll hit 90, 92, which is over limit. But what they do there is, it's based on every 3 quarters and it averages out. So that one being high averages out to a low 80, or no, a low 76, which we go through. That's why we've been able to pass it through. But we always go high in September.
Why? Why?
It's the warmest part. The summer, the tank's heated, the chlorine's dissipating fast, and the THMs are sitting. That's why they wanted to put the mixer, aerator in to keep it started up during that warm period.
I think Pete and Boyd's was still recommending the aerator, wasn't they?
Last time I talked to them, we were going through the whole thing till we stopped.
Yeah.
I would imagine you would get that aerator and that mixer and all. So you don't have this problem, because during that process, it's supposed to lower all the readings by 20-25%. So every quarter, they'd be dropping 25%.
So instead of just meeting criteria, you'd be increasing
Yeah.
the margin,
Yeah,
Yeah.
making it even better.
yeah.
That's
And
why.
that's what that was all based on, so possibly we wouldn't have this problem anymore. And also to keep it down like I do in September, I gotta start flushing June, July, August, and into September. That all goes on the ground.
So we're wasting money.
Yeah, you have to when you flush, because it's based on, I'll run a fire hydrant and I'll only run out 2 fingers at the end of the hose when it's coming out, because you don't want to come out full bore. You stir up all the biofilm and the THMs, and now you're gonna get a reading through the roof. You let it come out and you take a reading. It could be at the end of it, that end, it could be a 0.02, which is your bare minimum. I gotta bring it up to over 1.0, and I usually bring them up to like a 110, 130, and that's more chlorine in the line when it's done. But I have to bring it up to over a 1.
And you wouldn't have to do that with the aerator in there?
You still have to flush,
Okay.
but it wouldn't be you go by your test. You know, you test your chlorine residual. If you're low, you don't want low in the line. You wanna keep it like a, I don't know, 0.50 or higher. But you don't want your basic minimal chlorine residual of 0.02. Usually when I do my dead ends, that's what I get when I start.
Yeah, I mean, I would defer to what the engineers recommend as far as ensuring our water quality stays high. Our citizens pay a lot of money for water. It should be high quality water if they're gonna pay that much for it.
Well, we pretty much decided that we were gonna stick with the state mandate.
Yeah.
And the third part of it was the meter vault outside the pumping station, the grit. We're gonna rebuild that too,
Yep.
because the meter in there is shot.
Yeah.
I'm not even getting a read. I have to do an estimated bill. But I can't do anything, you know, I can't go out and buy a meter and put it in the line if we're gonna rip it all out again.
Yep.
So that's why I've been waiting on that.
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
Jason?
All right, everybody should have the police report in front of you. Nothing really out of the norm. We talked about the local law enforcement grant. We was awarded that grant. That's a 100% grant. We've already signed the paperwork, so we would be happy to take the money. PD will be sponsoring a graduate of merit this year. We already talked about that. The business has already written a check and passed it along to Pittsburgh County Schools for the sponsorship for us. Student went to Hurd Elementary School. PD also has a scholarship that's coming due on April the 15th. So if you know anybody who wants to get a scholarship, you need to put it in before the 15th. So far, we have 3 students that have applied for that scholarship. ALPR update. You flip over, you see the update page. And I got to it. Per the request of the Hurt Town Council, y'all wanted me to go and reach out to other companies that provided the LPRs. So what I did was I reached out to the companies that you see here, and these are the results that I received from these companies. The first company, there was no return contact. I got nothing back. The second one contacted me back, but they didn't offer services that we wanted. Third one, no contact back. The fourth one, corporate contacted me, no sales contacted me back. Axon did contact me back, okay? They provided a quote. The quote is also in that you have. And then Flock reached out and said, hey, how can we provide information to the town council on security concerns that they have? I've also included that information. The quote from Axon, if you'll look at it, was $45,000 roughly, okay? That does not include what it costs to run it a year. If we was to purchase that, that's what the price is $45,000. With Flock, we leased it or rented it or whatever you wanted to call it yearly. There was a yearly contract we had with them that was provided through the heat grant. Axon, you purchase the equipment and then you pay them yearly cost per camera. So I reached back out and said, what's our yearly cost? So roughly, if we have 3 cameras, it's going to be roughly $6,000 a year. $11,000 camera over a 5-year contract. So if you kept your 3 cameras, it would be $33,000 over 5 years just to keep them running. Okay, that's what Axon provides. So that's where we're at on that. I feel like pretty much based off of the information I received, and the council doesn't want to move forward with Flock, we're kind of dead in the water on this, because I really don't see town council spending $33,000 over 5 years and $45,000 by cameras.
I'm gonna ask a question
Sure.
related, maybe not exactly in this line. What do our police cruisers, what type of hardware do they have as far as scanning license plates?
No,
They have none?
nothing.
What's the sentiment around that technology?
So,
Mobile-based.
it's not gonna work for us. Honestly, with the staffing that we have here in our police department, the biggest bang for the buck is the pole mounted, because they're working when we're not. If you mount them in the cars, it's ideal for, let's say you've got fleet vehicles. A good example would be a big city, big municipality. People are getting in that car, they're driving that car's moving 24/7. So it's constantly picking up cameras in different locations of your city or town or wherever it may be. Here, you're not getting it. You're not getting it. You know,
We'd
what
also
you gonna
have to
spend
get computers, in-car computers, to be able to run them, because they don't just run off of the car. In order to view everything, we have to, and that's roughly what, $5,000 a computer?
Yeah, computer, that's not installed, that's just a.
And then plus
it's
you
a-
gotta do Wi-Fi in the car and everything, so.
So, yeah, I like the idea of a mobile system a lot better because it's not a surveillance network. It's an actual tool that is deployed by a human being at a specific instance in time. It's not just general surveillance of everybody going by. That's something I could get more behind. I understand your opinion there. That doesn't read as many vehicles, but that's something that I think is much more digestible.
I think for a big city it works. Still in big cities, they have pole mounts. They have pole mounts. I think for us, I don't think that'll work.
You don't think it would help at all?
It may help some, but not, I wouldn't be willing to get behind the money you're gonna spend to get it up and running and keep it running for the results you're gonna get out of it. That's my, you know, after working here 15 years, that's what I see. I mean, I think it's a great product, right? We could have all types of great things if we had the money. Truthfully, we don't have the money, so we don't get the most bang for a buck because of budget restrictions. I'd be willing to take it if y'all want to fund it, don't get me wrong. But I really don't think it's gonna provide services like a pole mount would.
Well, and one reason I also bring that up is I know you mentioned in the past that we're getting close to the end of the life cycle on one of these vehicles. So if it's something that we could include in the purchase of a new vehicle, I think that would be probably more cost effective as well.
Yeah, so the life cycle, and that's something that we need to look at when we purchase vehicles, is updating them and keep us moving forward in technology wise. We don't need to stay in the dark ages. So with that, Axon provides, that's in-car camera with LPR with that. So that's something that Axon provides, or the in-car camera is LPR. Now, you know, so you're getting it regardless if you use it or not. So the question is, at that time and point, how much does it cost us to turn it on?
Yeah. Because I know they have ones that are actually in the vehicle as well that look at if you have someone in the back seat, then they'll watch them in case they're doing something funny, and give use for evidence and things like that.
So a lot of times you'll see vehicles, and it's something else that we've got to make sure that what we're doing here works with the county, right? So currently, our neighbors in other towns have in-car computers. But to do this, we need to make sure that what we're using works with the county and we're in compliance with what their IT and security is. They are already working in that. So we all had a meeting, we all sat down, I don't know, about a year ago. And I told them, I said, y'all go for it and y'all figure it out. And once you get it all figured out, I'm happy to, you know, to entertain it, but y'all can figure it out and then I'll come in. And y'all can tell me exactly what you want, how you want it. And I'm happy to put them in the car. I think it's a great thing to have. We just gotta make sure that what we do. I know that there are problems, I'll say problems, maybe concerns, that you have to overcome with using LPRs and making sure that everything talks to each other. So you don't wanna go and spend big bucks. It's not being responsible for our citizens to go and spend big bucks on buying LPRs and say, this is great, but they don't work with, you know, the county. We're just wasting money at that point. That's the reason why I said, y'all.
Do you know what the county's doing?
So I know that the town is, well, it depends on the system. You know, what system they have, they're talking about, just like everybody else, they're talking, it's time for upgrades. So I know that they're looking at upgrades and, you know, just like everybody else. We wanna make sure that when they upgrade their system, we didn't buy something that was compatible with the old system. And now we've got all this great equipment that we've spent money on, but it does nothing, it's a boat anchor. So I know that they're, you know, looking into other stuff. So until they get all that nailed down,
They don't have any of that.
I wanna make sure that we don't spend money,
Yeah.
you know, recklessly. Anything else on?
I was just gonna ask, in general, do our police cars have cameras at all?
No,
No cameras at all?
no cameras.
Okay.
No cameras at all. I think it's a good thing to have cameras. I think it's a great thing to have cameras in the back seat. You put somebody in there.
Yeah,
So what we do for that is we run our body cams.
yeah,
Took somebody to jail today. Ran a body cam from the time we pick them up to the time we get them in jail. Gave them a courtesy ride home. The camera's on the whole time until we, you know,
yeah.
get back to where they're supposed to be. That is worth its weight in gold, that body cam.
And don't the system, like if you got an Axon camera system in the car, don't they sync with the body camera?
If you turn on your body camera, your in-car camera's gonna turn on as
Yeah,
well.
because I've seen like the YouTube videos of the police.
You can sync all that stuff together.
Good.
Again, the more money you have, the more.
It's just like
Equipment.
Lynchburg. Lynchburg has, so on their weapons, they have actual cameras. So if they unholster and then the camera cuts on.
Their body camera?
No, their camera on their gun.
Oh,
Wow.
They have a camera on their gun, and then when they holster back, it cuts off.
Axon has great technology.
It's expensive.
It's very expensive. Somebody unholsters, body cams, if you're standing by and your body cam's just in standby mode, it'll automatically cut it on.
Yeah, it'll cut on any Axon body camera that's within your system. So like, say me and you are partners, right? On holster, your body camera's turned on.
You got multiple ones of use, but you gotta pay money for it.
So I did find 4 grants, and I'm gonna email them to you that
Okay.
may potentially help with this.
Yeah, sure, that's great, I'm happy to look at it. One more thing that I do have, when we started with these LPRs, I've spoke to Shannon on this, and we've had a lot of people, my 15 years, we've had a lot of people come and go, okay? In that, what keeps your employees is paying benefits, okay? Having a pleasant workplace. My thought is how can we increase our benefits with no cost to our general citizens, all right? And what I found out while making phone calls and reaching out to different people with other agencies is if some agencies have the ability for a retired employee to carry their insurance, okay, at 100% cost to the employee. Nothing to the town or the city. So you'll see somebody that retires, all right? I know Joe and myself, I talked to them about it and said, hey, I think this would be a great thing to have. If somebody works here, okay, and they retire, then they can stay on the town's insurance policy, and the person that's been retired will have to pay 100% of that insurance policy until they get to that point to draw Social Security or Medicare. And I reached out to Shannon because she recently went to some training, and that is available to the town to get. I think it's a great benefit to have. It would help retain people, in my opinion, long term, because you have a benefit that's not costing the citizens of the town anything. And a lot of times when people get to that age, you have health problems, and you have a problem on getting a policy because of past health care problems, and you have to bridge that gap. Everybody knows you gotta bridge the gap between retirement and the time you're able to get Medicare. So this would do it with zero cost to the town. I like to see the council consider putting that in the benefit package of employees, or, retired employee. And Shannon may can give you some more information on it, because she went to training on it.
Yeah, I'd love to see. That sounds like a great plan.
So what happens when you have a retiree is there ends up being 2 separate billings. We get the billing for the employees that are still working full-time that are on the health insurance. And then if we have a retiree, we select to allow the retirees to keep their insurance. But instead of anything being added to the bill for the town, what they do is they bill the retiree directly, the full amount of everything. So it doesn't affect our cost at all.
Usually in these insurance plans, the more people you have on it, the lower the per individual cost is. Does it actually maybe help us reduce the rate?
So because we are so small, we don't have enough, because we're so small, we can only offer one insurance plan.
Okay.
We have to offer, the same insurance plan has to have comprehensive dental, and then we also have to offer preventative dental, and so that there's a little bit of change in the cost. But the amount of difference there is so small, everybody still just prefers to stay with the comprehensive dental. But in order to, if I have a retiree, they're still part of our system, but I don't believe that them being on the insurance is gonna change anything for the other people.
Okay.
I think everything
What
will stay
about
the same.
when they hit the Medicaid age and
Medicare.
and they need to purchase supplemental insurance, would they be able to still do that through this program?
They may be able to. They have several different things listed for retirees. I haven't done as much research into the retiree side because we don't have any. But if that's something that council wants to consider and start adding in, every time they start doing the trainings and stuff, I will go in and start asking more questions on the retiree side.
If it doesn't cost anything to our employees or the town, I'm definitely in favor of it, but we just need to be sure of that.
I'm 100% positive they fully bill. With your full-time employees, the town has a maximum requirement that you have to contribute. For your retirees, there's no contribute match whatsoever. It's all goes to the retiree, the whole bill.
Okay.
Well, with insurance costs going skyrocketing, that's a good, good thing to have available.
I think so.
So, is there like a contract that we can see that spells all this out?
I think that the book that I sent you guys, it's got the explanations in there
Okay.
as far as the retiree and stuff. You're just gonna have to go through all those pages to find it.
Okay. Alright.
So what would happen would be when we have a retiree and we want to add them, then when I do my reporting in April, I believe, I think I have it done by April. When I do my reporting, I would just add in that we were gonna have a retiree and just add that into our system, and then they would just add it in. I'm repeating myself, I'm tired. So it's not something that's hard to do.
Okay. Okay. Is this something that Alta Vista has? Do you know, John?
I've never heard of it,
Okay.
but they might.
Okay. Seems like it would be very widely used.
Because it's state stuff, a lot of people have it. In fact, a lot of people, when I did go into the training, they were getting ready to put retirees in, so I was able to hear some of their questions. And that's why I know how we're gonna go about the process of doing it. And then, that's how I learned about the zero contribution part of the town.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, if we could see documentation on this, if you can just forward that section to us, that'd be great. So hopefully John can read it through and make sure nothing's missed before we, nothing costs to us.
Thank you, Jason.
Says here Motorola return contact with corporate, however, no contact from sales. The county, Pennsylvania County uses Motorola. Would it be feasible to get some prices from Motorola?
They wouldn't return my phone calls. I reached out to them again, and it was dark, nothing back.
I just wondered if the county uses it, then right here in Herrick, we are in the county.
Right.
It would be better, I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I reached out to them a couple times and nobody responded to me. I don't know why. I mean, several of these people I reached out to, it was only, 3 of them responded back to me. One of them was talking about LPRs and, that they have on back of records and repo services. And I'm like, we don't need that. So
I love the Axiom when I've watched it. But it's premium price, but it's
I mean,
awesome
they have
stuff.
a great product. I mean,
Yeah.
I think they have a wonderful product. It's pricey. You're buying a Cadillac, we're actually buying a Mercedes probably.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. John, you're up.
Well, one thing I've been working on is the closing on the industrial part. We got that done. I've been working with the bond council on the mandate and the financing issues. And as Joe mentioned, the Sugar Hill subdivision, which is the property that goes up from the Riverside Event Market up the hill on the right. We did have some meetings and got a pretty good plan for it now. I think it'll be about 9 lots, and they're gonna put some nice houses on it. So
Where's the entrance gonna be to that? Have they decided?
it's gonna be off of Knollwood.
Is it? And are they, there's only gonna be one entrance to it, or is there gonna be two?
Just one.
And it's a safer thing than going up on that, the middle of
Yeah,
the
that
curve.
intersection looks like it'd
Bad.
be dangerous,
Yeah.
so.
Well, the VDOT does not want the lots to access directly onto Hurt Road.
That makes sense. It'd be a lot safer. Is there a timeline on these lots being built?
Well, they've got it closed, they haven't bought it yet, it's conditional on getting approval of the plat, which I think we're at that point now, so they'll, be up to them.
So we could have about 10 more houses paying water bills.
Well,
They'll be on wells.
Are they gonna be on wells?
they're gonna build all the houses at least 300 feet away from the water line,
Okay.
so they won't be covered under the mandatory hookup.
That's disappointing.
I thought at that last meeting, was it Marcy said that the one house, lot number 2, that entrance off of Hurt Road, East Hurt Road, was gonna was gonna take care of that house. That they were gonna have
Well,
one
it
house
could.
that could come off of East Hurt Road.
Well, there's already a street, already a driveway going on to the Sugar Hill from Hurt Road.
There is, but is
Well
it
up to the
official?
top.
But they said that it could accommodate one house, not the entire subdivision. Isn't that right, Joe?
I think it was, what they say, 1 and 3?
I thought it
Lot
said
one.
lot 2 is the one that East Hurt Road could
That's what
serve.
it's going through.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be either those 3 houses. I'm not sure. Cause they were allowed to pull up to 3 on that road, I believe.
I thought it was one.
I thought in the beginning
That's
it
not
was
surprising.
3. Could change.
I think it's 2.
Oh, we got 1, 2, and 3. We'll report next time. But anyway, they did say that they could use that driveway off of East Hurt Road
Okay.
for some number of houses, but it's gonna be one coming in off Knollwood too.
What about the house on Darrell Lane? Is it close enough to be on the water?
Yeah,
It will be.
yeah.
Okay, great.
Just within 300, it has to
Oh,
hook
yeah,
up.
Caroline,
Yeah.
Great.
Anything else for the good of the
That's
cause?
it.
We are,
Are we supposed to act on that, or you just hand it out as information?
what is it?
It's,
That's just information. You
Just
guys
info.
voted on it via email.
Yeah, all right. Thank you.
Not so.
All right, we're adjourned at 8:25. Thank you ladies for coming.
Shannon, could you sign it today? Can you sign a couple?
Shannon, I'm like.
Get your autograph. Have a good one.
If you get the hang of it,
Yeah. You one with Gary. Right across from Lily. Send this out tomorrow. Right across from Lily.
and I put this with the minutes for today.
So close it. Yeah, definitely. Put mine in the minutes.
I don't know. That's mine, so I don't know what kind of deal it is.
Maybe he's
It
right.
might have been-
Maybe he did right.
I'm sure I will be talking.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
good at argue with her.
Tom,
The autocorrect is switching some of the words on here.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
I run
because
into
it's
that all
like,
the time.
so I just don't want to correct every word.